My name is Jocelyn Sullivan, and I am the mother of Jessica Nicole Reed. We're out here in Mounts Corner, just left the Berkeley County Sheriff's Department, speaking with detectives. The case of McCalvey, my daughter Jessica Reed. I have regrets in which I am very sorry about, because when my daughter was drugged and raped, I wanted to do nothing but protect her. I didn't want her to suffer anymore. I didn't want her to feel that pain anymore. And so I did not let her testify. And because of that, today we are finding out that Mr. McCalvey is going to get away with what he did to my daughter, Jessica, and this family. For all these years, we've been suffering, going through pain and anguish over his decisions. Molest my daughter, rape her. And now she has to deal with this and we have to deal with this. And I'm so sorry that I didn't take the initiative then to persecute him for what he did to my daughter. I'm sorry. He came to our home and he acted as if he was going to be a friend to us. He came to us and said, "Don't worry, nothing's going to happen to her. And I'll make sure that she'll be safe." He eluded us to believe and trust in him. And then he turns around and violates my daughter by raping and drugging her. And then he gets away with it. When I made the decision not for my daughter to testify, I was focused on her well-being. And I wanted the best for her. I didn't want to put her in a stand to relive all of that pain and suffering. And now, 17 years later, because he continues to make mockery about it, joke and laugh about it, like it doesn't even matter to him, or he has no regrets or anything. Then he tries to cover it up with his money and his high-class attorneys. And now, he's not going to be punished for it. Justice is not fair, and we will not stop fighting. We will fight for justice and closure for my daughter Jessica and this family. According to the detectives, because he negotiated a plea deal, he cannot be prosecuted for the rape charge. So what they did was just dismiss it. They didn't even prosecute the rape charge because my daughter wasn't there. And so they let him plead. DNA did not clear him innocent. DNA has nothing to do with it at all. He's guilty no matter what anyone says. 17 years later, she's still suffering from it. We're still suffering with her from it. And justice needs to be served regardless. He deserves to be punished for what he did.
Hello, my name is Jessica Reed. I'm 32 years old. I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York. I left New York when I was 6 years old after my father passed away. We moved to Charleston, South Carolina, lived there for about 5 years, and we moved to Somerville and lived there for 2 years. Today I'm here to talk about what happened in June 2001. A lot of you have heard Charlemagne's story, but today I'm here to set the record straight about what really happened that night. I met Charlemagne through a mutual friend. His name is Rico. I met Rico through my best friend. Her name is Shaniqua Epps. The night I met Charlemagne, Rico and I were hanging out. He told me he had some business to take care of and he had to stop by the radio station, Z93. So where I'm at right now, standing right in front of what used to be Z93 radio station, here is where I met Charlemagne. Like I said previously, I was introduced to him by Rico, who was a mutual friend of both Charlemagne and mine. Charlemagne worked at the time as a radio DJ. He introduced us. Rico introduced Charlemagne and I. I sat down. Rico and Charlemagne were discussing music. I kind of sat back while they talked. We left the station, and about 2 days later, Charlemagne called me. I'm not sure how he got my number because I didn't give it to him, but I'm assuming that Rico gave him my number. At the time I met Charlemagne, I was 15 years old. He told me he was 20. Just finding out recently he was actually 22 years old at the time. Our relationship was strictly platonic. We were friends and only friends. We are at Tree Haven Apartment. This is where Charlemagne came to meet my mom for the first time. Came upstairs to this apartment here to my left. Came to meet my mother, spoke to her, introduced himself. And on that day, he took me and my best friend out to lunch to a Chinese buffet. I knew him about maybe, I want to say a month and a half before the incident.
He also, during that time when he introduced himself to me, he said that he would watch over them, promised that they would be fine, and I had nothing to worry about, that they would be safe with him. He came off like he was a brother to a sister kind of relationship. And I trusted this person and allowed my daughter and her friend to go and have lunch at that time. I did not know, and I want to stress it very clearly, I did not know his age at that time. I just figured that he was a friend, hang around friend, possibly even high school. So yes, he did come and he did assure me that my daughter and her girlfriend would be safe with him. So the second time Charlemagne came to my home, I wasn't here. I'm not sure where I was, but my brother answered the door, told Charlemagne I wasn't here. And that was the second occasion. The third occasion was the day of the party. Charlemagne called me one day and told me he was having a party, a beach party, and invited me to the beach party. Initially, I said no, but then he said the party was actually for him. It was his birthday. And he said, you know, you're like my sister, you have to be there. I told him, I said, okay. So he told me it was his birthday.